Good morning, guys, and welcome back to Greensboro Downtown Yoga. I'm Summer here today with I'm excited because we're going to go through a really calming, relaxing, stretch-filled experience. I want you to really take the opportunity today to calm your mind, to calm your body down. For me here today, it's a Friday. You might be doing it on another day and at the end of your day or whatever it is that you need to really embrace this. I've got 2 blocks nearby just to help me settle into some of the stretches. If you want some, have some. If you don't have them available to you, use whatever might be available. All right, we are going to get started seated. Find a seated position for you. Maybe your legs are crossed, maybe they're extended. You find what's comfortable for you. And shut your eyes. Here with your eyes shut, focus in on your body. Notice what it's feeling today. Scan and see if there's an area that maybe you're holding tension in. Don't judge any of the feelings that you're experiencing. Recognize that being tired or having tension and tightness in your body is part of the experience of life. Accept that tightness. Accept those moments of imperfection. Notice your breathing. Your natural, normal breath cycle. You feel a rise and fall of your chest, movement in your belly. Do you find that your breath is shallow? Maybe you're holding extra stressors today that are causing your breath to be short and small. Again, no judgment, just observation. We take the time to be willing to observe our body and all the feelings that it has. We give ourselves the chance to feel. Too often we just do, and we don't slow down and feel. Or if we're having negative feelings, we're sad or upset, we often push those feelings aside and bury them with negative thoughts. Today, let's allow ourselves the freedom to be bold and courageous in knowing that we might have to have those negative feelings. And it's okay. Sit up really tall with your eyes shut. See in your mind's eye, what does it mean to you to be bold? What does freedom of movement, freedom of expression, freedom of thoughts, what does that look like, smell like, experience like to you? Your big, juicy inhale. Through your mouth, exhale all those thoughts. Inhale. You exhale everything that holds you back. Inhale. Start to move your head from side to side. Maybe it's your ear going to your shoulder, maybe you look side to side. Doesn't need to look a certain way. It's just you moving your head. Move it up and down. Think, how often do you take the opportunity to explore freedom of movement of your neck? Continue just a little bit longer. About 7 months ago, I tore a ligament in my neck, and I realized how much I took for granted the need to move our neck daily. It was so tight, I only had, with the tear, I could only turn to the left about 9 degrees. For reference, 70 degrees is normal. For my age, I was supposed to be between 80 and 90. Come back to center. Sit up tall. Pull your shoulders up and around. Your hands don't have to stay in a certain place. And for a long time after I went, I was really upset. I was mad at myself for having gotten myself injured, for having a freak accident like a torn ligament in my neck. And I started meditating every day. I did a morning meditation every day. And when I did that, I found that I was able to let go of those like, oh my gosh, this is wrong, something's wrong with me feelings. And I let myself simply be. I was there with the moment. Around the holidays, I got to spend the time with my family, which now I'm forever grateful for, because that last holiday I got to spend with my dad. So I think that when we get upset with ourselves, sometimes we have to take a moment and step back and know that feelings are good. Interlace your hands together behind your back. Look up to the sky as your hands push away. Release your hands, if you have available to you, grab your blocks and come to your back. We're going to lift our hips up and place the block under our lower back for a supported bridge. With our feet pressed down to the mat, our head, neck, and shoulders just relax. If you're feeling this into your lower back, you might not have the block in the right spot. You might need to adjust it in a way that you are not arching excessively. You might find that you hate supported bridge and you want to come down onto the floor. And if you want to do that, that's great. Today, as I'm asking us to slow down, I also want us to think how we can become active in that slowing down process. How can we still allow our body to be free and focused? Here, in a supported bridge, it's the push of our feet down to the floor, the energy up our knees, the pelvis pressing back, and the attention to our breath. Lift your hips up off the block. Allow your hips to come down to the floor. Open your arms wide and let's allow our knees to fall to one side, come up to center, and fall to the opposite side. And with this just little knee fall, maybe call it a windshield wiper, whatever you want to think of it like, just notice. What does one side feel like? How do we see in our mind's eye what this is? So with our eyes shut, we're not looking at it. But in your mind's eye, can you notice if one side is holding a little bit more tension? If you do find that, breathe into it. Let's keep our knees to one side. Doesn't matter which one. And then I want you to find a way to stack your knees and look over your opposite shoulder. Be active in this place with your breath. Even as we slow down, we just become too passive. It could potentially cause negative things to happen in the body, so injury could happen. Let's come to center. Switch to the other side. If you're an individual whose body is naturally more limber, you've got a little bit more flexibility in it. That's what my teacher Ian Finn of Blissology likes to call being too yin. Too much of just a passive let go. When I say that we need to be active in these moments, I mean that we don't just collapse, that we We feel energy out our abdominals. Our breath is central. Bring your knees to center. Hug them into your chest, giving yourself this lovely rock from side to side. Maybe you want to make little circles with that. With focus, are you still in the present moment, noticing what your body is doing? Or has your brain wandered to a to-do list or something else? If it's wandered, it's okay. That's life. Just come back. Place your feet flat on the floor. Let the knees fall out to the sides as the bottoms of your feet come together. You might find that you like to take some blocks and place them underneath your knees to give a little support. If you do that, that's beautiful, and that is perfectly okay. Just don't use it as a way to completely let go. And what do I mean by that? When I have my knees on the blocks, it's easy. I'm not having to actively be engaged through my feet. I let go of my breath. When I'm here on my back, with my feet together and no blocks, I might find that when I inhale, my knees come together. And when I exhale, I really focus on my knees reaching to the ground. There's so many different schools of yoga. There's so many different methodologies and philosophies in the fitness and functional movement space. Pilates brings different principles. And I cross a lot of those different worlds. And I started my journey as a dancer and then got into fitness and yoga and Pilates, and it's just kind of all merged together. So sometimes I give cues and things, and I don't really always know what world it comes from. It's just part of me at this point. I tell you that to say that you are the same. You come from so many different experiences, so many different places that bring you to this moment. Extend your legs long in front of you. Your arms overhead, and give yourself a long reach from head to toe. And it's each of those moments, each of those journeys in life that makes you the wonderful human that you are. Bend your knees in. Roll to one side. Come back up to a seated position. Bring the bottoms of your feet together here. Find space between your knees, your heels and your inner thighs. Sit up really tall. The bottoms of your feet push together. Find the lift of your chest. Now notice, are you an individual who is a little bit bendy flexy in this? And you might be able to pull your heels in a little closer. But did you do that and sacrifice the lift of your chest? If you're here, rounding, you've lost everything that we're trying to go for. We want to lift up. We tip our pelvis forward and look forward. I love to put my hands behind me as this moment to lift up. But I love even more to do it by taking blocks behind me. And when I push up there, let's see if you can see the difference. See how my back is in this neutral position and lifted? Versus when I'm on the floor and I do it, I kind of push forward and I get this curve in my back. That curve is excess pressure into the lower back. It has a really fancy word called lordosis, excess curvature of the lower lumbar spine. And we want to avoid that. So you find the place. Do you want your hands behind you? If they are, lift them up. Maybe they're on your legs. Take your thumbs. I'm going to turn so you can see this just a little bit more. Take your thumbs. You're going to go into the insides of your foot. And we're going to give ourselves this really luxurious moment to just rub our feet. It doesn't have to be a certain way. Just start with your thumbs and then move up and down your feet. Our feet are our foundation, right? How often do you give them attention though? How often do you go, hi feet, I'm going to get blood flowing to you? If you do often, that's fabulous. Like give yourself this nice little massage in. Maybe you take your knuckles and you sweep up and down. I don't know how you want to do this. For me, it's feeling really great to be in my archery at this moment. Maybe you go into your heel. As a person with a really bad ankle, I know the importance of keeping my feet strong and mobile. Because without it, I start to feel a lot of pain into my ankle. For a long time, I couldn't do barefoot exercise. I could do yoga, it didn't bother, but like bar, if I did a bar class, I had to wear shoes because my feet were so weak, they weren't supporting my ankle. So my ankle would start to hurt. And it took me a while to realize that. It took me a while to realize that I had lazy feet. Take your toes and just take them on a little gymnastics journey so they get to move forward and backwards. We're going on little splits. Do that with the second toe. Maybe you want to move your feet up. I don't know how you want to do this, but I want you to find that movement in your toes. I now find that daily I do this. Every single day I take my toes on this movement journey. I find those chances to really let my feet be my foundation. Take the other foot. And as I was talking about, everything that we do, every moment, every person you talk to, everything that you've done has created who you are and that person. And our feet have been with us as our foundation, as our support through all of it. Let's sit up really tall. Find another cross-legged position like we did at the beginning. Now take your right hand, place it on the outside on your left knee. You get this small spinal twist. You're going to press your hand into your leg and start to rotate. Look over your back shoulder. I want you to think, press down with your sits bones. Lift up with our head. And just smile. Focus on your breath right here. As you do this, start to push your hand a little more into your leg. The back hand, press a little more down. I like to take a block and push into that block because that's what's going to give me that little bit of lift versus for me to be on the floor and just tight. Come back to center. Switch to the other side. Find that lift up on the front edge of that tailbone. So you really feel there's two little bony spots into the floor. We rotate around. As we breathe, we find stillness and calm. Not judging if this side is different than the other. Just being aware. Back to center. Take your blocks from you. You're going to sit back into a child's pose position, but your hands are going to be on the blocks, which is just a little bit different than we normally do. Allow your forehead to rest on the mat. Maybe it rocks side to side. Push your hands down to the blocks and start to feel as if your shoulders pulled back down your back. If you feel that, we're just using that block as that kind of integrated feel. If you understand it, you can take the hands back to the floor and find that same pull. And there's that active place of being here in the moment. Check in with your mind. Have you wandered? Have you ventured to another place? Let's return for these last few moments of class. Make your way onto your back. We finish today in a Shavasana. A chance to quiet our mind, to relax our body. They often say in yoga, Shavasana is the hardest pose because it requires stillness and focused mind. So how can you be active in this pose? By being completely and totally passive in your relaxed position. And I don't mean allow your mind to wander. I mean be present. Focus solely on the breath. intention and focus, move your fingers. Let every single toe move around. Really wiggle them in a way that lets them have freedom of movement. Your feet get caught up inside shoes all day. Let them be free. Take that move into your ankles and your wrist, your knees and your shoulders. As your arms reach overhead, give yourself a long stretch. Hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself one great big gratitude hug. Being grateful and proud of every moment, every day. Roll to your right. And let's find our way to a seated position. Finish just like we began. Make the full circle. With one great big inhale, bring your hands to heart center. Give yourself that present moment gratitude. Go out into the rest of your day with a renewed sense of energy, calmness, and gratitude. Until next time, I'm Summer. Thank you.